Hi guys, welcome back to Miss Finance. Today we're going to have a look at the VLOOKUP function in a little bit more detail. Now, if you've never used the VLOOKUP function before, I'll just show you what it is. It's basically a function that allows you to look for a value in the leftmost column of a table, and then it returns a value in the same row from a column that you specify. So I'll show you how this works. So if I select VLOOKUP, first of all, what you're going to find is it's going to ask you for the value that you're looking for. So that's the criteria that you're looking for. So if I want to look for, say, course 5, my table array is going to be between B and C. And you'll see here that what it's looking for has to be in the leftmost column, as in column B and not column C. Now, the column index number is just the column that you wish to return. So I want the second column here. So B is the first column and C is the second column. Now here, the range lookup, if you put false, it's going to find an exact match, but if you put true, it's going to put omitted. So I'm going to write false in here, and you'll see here that that returns 200. So the function has looked for number 5 between here and here, and it's returned the second column here, which is the 200. So I can just drag this all the way down here. Now, you'll see here that two things have happened. So you can see that there's quite a few NAs here. Now, you can see, for instance, that that number 2 is actually down here, and you might be wondering, well, why does that show NA? And the reason is because you haven't fixed this formula. And what we mean by that is, if you look in the very first formula up here, that's looking at B14 to C19. When you drag this down, that's slowly dragging that formula down. Can you see there? So if I fix this by highlighting B14 to C19 with F4 on my keyboard, that will stop that from being dragged down. And you can see there now that there's no NA. Now, if I wanted that to bring through a third column, so if I wrote here some additional information, just like this, and I wanted that to pick up the comments instead of the total, all I would have to do is change this to a 3 and change this to now pick up D, as you can see there. So that's now looking between B and D, and it's going to return the third column. And you can see here that that now picks up just the third column for each of those. Now, if you had a situation where, for instance, we had, let's just add in another individual, so Kim Harrison, and we wanted course number 7, and we did the same thing again, you can see there that that is now showing an NA. Now, when you're filtering on a lot of information, you might not want that to show NA. And when you're using a VLOOKUP, there's a couple of ways that you can change that to not show NA if it doesn't pick up that information. So, at the very start of the formula, you can write if NA, open brackets, and then afterwards a little comma, and then 2 speech marks, and that will show blank. So if it doesn't pick it up, you get a blank. The other way is to write in if error, then blank. So both ways are fine, but I prefer to use if NA because if I'm looking through my formulas and I'm trying to find an error, if NA will show me information that can't be found, whereas if error will show me blank whether there's an error or not within the formula. So I do prefer if NA when I'm doing this. So I'll show you quickly how to use HLOOKUP as well. So if I had this information in a different format, so as in, let's transpose that information there. So that's no longer in a column format, it's now horizontal. Then what I can do is use HLOOKUP, which is just horizontal lookup. Now if I go to insert function and find HLOOKUP instead under all, you get the same sort of information. So my lookup value is going to be 5. My table array is going to be between here and here, so F13 to L15, and I'm going to fix that. And then my row index number is going to be a 2 in this case, because I wanted to pick up the second row of that information. And again, I'm going to put false. So you can see there that that now picks up all of the relevant information except for that one, which is NA. So again, I'm just going to pop if NA in front of this, then blank. It's very similar to VLOOKUP in that you can write if NA and if error. And if I wanted that to show a 0 instead of a blank, when I'm dealing with numbers, I just have to change that to a 0, as you can see here. So that's VLOOKUP and HLOOKUP. So I hope you found this one useful as always, and please do consider subscribing, and I shall see you on the next video.